Hi again, everyone. Today is Memorial Day, May 25th, 2015, and I'm going to show you the harvest from the garden today. First of all, before I do that, I want to just say, in honor of Memorial Day, thank you very much to all the servicemen and women throughout history who made it possible for me to plan my garden and plant my garden and do this as a hobby because I enjoy it instead of having to do it in order to survive, as people have done in the past. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, as you can see, I got a couple of beets. I've already cut one of them, and I had two small ones that got, you can see how tiny these are compared to these, and these are not that big, but these two were accidentally knocked over, and we tried to stick them back in the ground and they just kind of wilted, so we just went ahead and pulled them, and I stuck them in a mason jar where I store everything, and until these started to come in, and pulled these two this morning. These were the biggest ones, and I decided to, there were a couple more like this size, but I decided to leave those in the garden to get them even bigger. And I wanted to do a salad with these today, and I got some kale from the garden. I'll show you that shortly. But what I'm going to do with this now is, I've already peeled these two. I'm going to peel the others, and I'm going to save the beet greens for something else. And then I'm going to slice these, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready for that. Okay, I have my beets sliced thinly, and I have a small bowl here, and I'm going to add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. This is a really strong one, so that's all I'm going to do for right now until I taste it. And a little bit of dried parsley, a little salt, maybe a little more salt, and I'm going to put you down to put the pepper in, so hold on. Okay, I put a few grounds of pepper in, and I'm just going to stir this up, and then I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil and stir it again. Okay, now I'm going to taste it. All I got is the olive oil. Maybe a little bit more salt. Okay. Now I'm going to add the beets. See if I can do this with one hand. Yay! The magic of flexible cutting boards. And now I'm just going to toss this around. What do you think, little bit? She's talking to me over there. Alright, I'm going to grab a little piece and taste it. I think it needs a little more vinegar. I'm going to toss it around again. Okay. That's good. I'm just going to let this sit while I finish everything else. Okay, I'm back. I want to show you the rest of the harvest from today. I got some kale These are really small, just baby kale. I wanted to make a salad with the beets and the kale and maybe a few other things, I'm not sure. So I just got a few of these. My plants were starting to look really crowded. So I don't know if, this is the first time I've ever grown kale before, so I didn't know for sure. So if anybody knows about this, please let me know in the comments. They kind of got to where they were just stagnant. They shot up really nicely. They looked beautiful, and then they just stayed the same. So I thought maybe if I removed some of the oldest leaves, that would give the rest of them a little more room to go on and get as big as some of the taller, or as tall as some of the bigger kale. That's what I'm trying to say. Get big. Sorry about that. I'm a little tongue-tied. But I wanted to use this as baby kale anyway, so I was excited. I have lots of little baby leaves on there. So, and I've got 8 plants in one section, and I think about 8 in another. So, and they're a little bit behind. The second section is a little bit behind these. So, I ought to be harvesting a lot of kale. So, this is going to be for a salad for. I'm sorry about that. My camera died. Here are my beet greens that I've already shown you. What I've been doing with these when in years past is just dehydrating them, but this year I think I'm going to treat them like any other greens and saute them with some garlic and onion and things like that. I may go ahead and put these in the freezer with some of the other things. I already have some radish greens in the freezer. Okay, got interrupted. Imagine that. Here is some lettuce, just a small bowl of lettuce. I didn't really need any lettuce because I have almost 2 full gallon-sized bags of lettuce in the fridge. But I know, Bet, it's pretty awful, huh? She's crying. But a couple of the older plants looked like they were going to bolt, so I wanted to go ahead and cut those. Went ahead and got 2 leaves of Swiss chard. These are not as big as a couple of the others that I got a couple of days ago, but same thing, the plant looked a little crowded, so I wanted to free up some space. And here is my bowl of snow peas. These are some of my favorite things in the world, and I did not harvest any yesterday because I wanted some of them to get a little bit bigger. And I got a ton today, minus the small little handful I ate while I was harvesting them. But, you know, a girl's got to eat, right? These are delicious. They're sweet and crunchy and fresh, and I love them. So I'm going to clean them up and put them in with the rest of them that I picked the other day. And there's still a ton more out there, and whatever we don't eat in the next couple of days, I'm going to freeze into serving size portions for stir fries and things like that. Then I got this much broccoli. My broccoli is just sending out a few little side shoots right now. We've harvested all of the main shoots of broccoli, and so they're still coming along. Hopefully we'll get another couple more weeks of broccoli, and then we'll pull those plants up and do something else. And then lastly on the harvest today, this was 1 pea. It was the only one that was full enough, mature enough to harvest. So I pulled it, and my husband and I ate the peas out of it. They were delicious, they were sweet, and I'm really happy. We have quite a few more out there that are almost ready, and then we have a ton that are coming in that are not ready at all. So hopefully in the next week we'll be getting a lot of peas in. Okay, today's harvest was not as big as yesterday's, but I pretty well picked everything clean yesterday. So today is Tuesday, May 26th, and I got some more lettuce, and just like I said yesterday, I really don't need this, but one of the plants looked like it was about to bolt, so I went ahead and pulled it. I did eat a big salad today, so I'm down to one full gallon-sized Ziploc bag of lettuce, so I'll add this to another bag. I got these snow peas. I pretty well picked them clean yesterday, so I wasn't expecting to get many today. I may skip picking them tomorrow and pick them again. What do you think, Teddy? When do you think I should pick them? He says I should pick them again on Thursday. But I finally got some of my snap peas, my sugar snap peas. They look yummy. I haven't eaten one yet, but the plant is not very big. It didn't do very well, and we moved it a couple of times, and so it's just, we may not get very many of these this year, but that's okay. I've got plenty of seed to start for the fall. We got actually 2 little broccoli florets. One of the kids ate one of them. What do you think, Bet? Do you think about the broccoli? She does not like broccoli. She is definitely a carnivore. I enjoyed my kale so much in my salad that I picked a few more leaves today. I'm probably going to go ahead and let the rest of it get nice and tall so that I can have some big harvests of kale. But since I have so many greens for salads, I probably don't need to pick the kale, but I love kale. And I like this baby kale to eat raw in salads. So, but I have so many other greens that I really don't need them. So I'm going to try to resist the temptation to pick them anymore. But they're so good. And then I had one tiny, tiny, tiny little sprig of spinach. It was growing under another plant, under some peas, that I think we may have accidentally spilled some seed out there. So it was being crowded, so I went ahead and pulled it, and I will probably put it in something. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, and this is our harvest for today. Again, it's kind of small, but I think with me going out to the garden and picking every day, that at least for a while, until the tomatoes start coming in, I don't think I'm going to get a lot on one day. I'll be getting smaller harvests daily, which is really better for me, because then I have time to process each thing and excuse me, and not feel like I'm completely overwhelmed. So let's start over here. Got a few more snow peas today. This is the snow peas harvest. Like, you can see how big that is compared to my hand. We had a really good weather day for the garden yesterday, and these really benefited from that. What happened is it rained for quite a while, and then the rain went away, and it was sunny and nice and warm, and then it rained overnight. So everything just kind of shot up yesterday. When I looked at the zucchini, it looks like it doubled in size. So everything is really starting to benefit from the regular rain and then the sun, and it's just really looking great. We're really excited. So what I've been doing with the snow peas is cleaning them up every day, pulling each end off like this. I'm going to try to do it with one hand so you can see. I just snap it with my thumbnail, and then I put them in a bowl. Before I even bring the vegetables to my cutting board, I always wash them. What I either, depending on how many things I get, I either fill my big mixing bowl with water and just a splash of vinegar, or I clean out the sink and fill one side of the sink with that, and just let them soak for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how dirty I think the vegetables are and how much time I have. And then I drain them, and then I rinse them really well with just plain water. If I have a lot of greens, lettuces, kale, spinach, Swiss chard, things like that, I may wash them twice, 3 times, just enough till I feel like the water's clean and everything is off. Then I bring them to my cutting board and I'll kind of let them dry. And then what I like to, then I snap them off. I snap off the ends. That's the process. Then depending on how many I have, what I've gotten in previous days, I will determine what I need to do with them. Yesterday, I blanched a lot of them for 2 minutes and put them in the freezer. So my supply of them fresh is really low. So I may just put these in the fridge and keep these for salads and snacking. My husband and I both just love to eat these plain as snacks. I'm going to make some hummus, and I love to dip vegetables in that. So not quite sure exactly what I'm going to do with them. I'll need to look and see how many that I have left. I may go ahead and blanch some more. Just depends. And depending on how many I get tomorrow and the next day, I'd like to have, by the end of the season for the snow peas, I'd like to have as many in the freezer as I can, because we do love them, but I love them fresh too, so I don't want to cook all of them. Okay, moving on. Sorry about the babble. Moving on, we have some mint. A couple of weeks ago, I started making fruit waters, really just for me, because I really needed to increase my water intake, and I like plain water, but every once in a while I like water with some flavor. And I had a lot of fruits that needed to be used at that time, and so I just put some in water and let it sit for in the fridge overnight, and it was delicious. Surprisingly, the kids started drinking it, and some of them really loved it. A couple of them don't really care for it too much, but the ones who do really, really like it. And then I started putting some mint in there, and they went nuts. They loved it. So I always now have a pitcher and a half-gallon jar of mint water in the fridge. And so I like to change it out every couple of days. And we have mint growing everywhere. My husband moved a lot of the mint this spring, and it just really took off. So we have tons of it, and I'm going to try to make some mint jelly later, but for right now, we're just perfectly happy with the mint water. So I got some more mint. We got a few more things of broccoli. These are just the little side shoots that are coming in, and these are small. Some of them are good size, but most of them are kind of small. And I'm not sure exactly how much longer the broccoli is going to last, but as long as it is, I'm going to keep picking it and keep eating it. We did cook all of the big heads of broccoli, and I sauteed a lot of it last night for dinner, and we still have some left, but that the big heads are gone. Then my puny little arugula harvest, it was, some of it looked like a bug had been getting some of this, so I just kind of cleaned up the plant. I'm not sure I'm going to keep any of this because it does have holes in it, so probably just compost that, but I was actually just cleaning up the plant. Found another one of those little baby spinaches that was hidden in underneath the peas. So I pulled it, and it has a couple of little insect damage too on it, so I may may compost most of that. So then, well, let me get to the other kinds of peas. I have a few little sugar snap peas. This, as I said in yesterday's video, that plant's not going to produce very much. It didn't really do well where we put it originally, and we moved it, so it's not going to do much this summer, and that's okay. I'm going to plant them again in the fall, and we'll do it at a different location, and we'll hopefully have lots of these, because these sugar snap peas are actually my personal favorite, especially for just snacking. I love the snow peas. It's a good thing because we have a lot, but I really do prefer the sugar snap peas for just snacking. Then these are just regular green peas that have finally started to come in. You'll remember a couple of days ago I got one and we ate it, so we didn't have very many left. We had lots on the plant, so we haven't had an opportunity to use the peas yet, but there are lots out there, and so these have just matured, and I'm going to try to do this with one hand. You just kind of split it open down the seam, and there are your peas inside. I'm going to have to, oh no, I thought I was going to have to get my, yeah, I am sorry about this. Yay, there we go. So there are the peas inside, and I'm going to eat one because they look delicious. Very, very sweet, crunchy. I love it. So I got a few of these. Right now, since we have just a small harvest, I'm probably just going to put them in the fridge and maybe have them on salads, or eat them just like this. Once the rest of them really start to come in, I'll blanch them and probably freeze them for us to use in recipes and throughout the year. And it looks like we are going to have a lot of them out there. We have quite a few plants, and they are just full of peas. So I just can't stop eating this. This is really good. So I ate an entire pea. Okay. Now, okay, don't talk with your mouth full, Jess. These are actually snow peas that I missed when I was picking them yesterday, or they just really shot up overnight. And you can see, compared to like this one, you can see how big the peas are. Let's see if I can focus that a little bit better. And you can see how fat this one is compared to this one. If I can get them even. Well, I think you see what I mean. So once snow peas get this size, they are really not good to eat as snow peas. They're not going to hurt you if you eat them, but the pod itself is really kind of tough and stringy. You see these strings coming off, and you're better off to just treat them as green peas. They're going to be a little smaller, but that's okay. So I'm trying to get this open with one hand, and it's not really working that well. I really do need a tripod, don't I? So you see they're smaller than, say, the ones that are in the regular green peas. But you treat them the same way. Well, these are a little small. So, well, yeah, you can see they're a little bit different size. And these are a little flat, whereas these are a little more round. But that's how you're going to do those if you let them get too big. The peas in the center taste delicious. They taste very sweet and crunchy, just like the full-size peas. But if you tried to eat the pod, it would be a little fibrous, I guess is the right word. So you're not going to want to do that. And so I've got these down here. I'm going to shell these and just put them in the same container with these. And hopefully I won't find too many that I missed anymore. Especially since I'm trying to go out there every day now. I was doing it every other day. But I kind of decided that, even though I said yesterday I was going to do every other day, I kind of decided this morning when I found all of these that I had missed that it's probably better for me to just go out every day. Okay, so this is the harvest for Wednesday, and I'll be back tomorrow with another one.